What's happening, guys? Rooster here, and welcome back to another episode of Roo's Reviews. Today we are chatting about Amalgam 2 by Marc Kerstein. So let's get into this. So, I know what you're thinking. New setup, new space, what's going on? Well, nothing's changed. Sometimes I'm going to be filming here, sometimes I'm going to be filming from my old space. But for today, for Amalgam Season 2 by Marc Kerstein, I thought I'd try something a little bit different. Some of you might have seen in my other reviews that sometimes I've got creators to get on the old virtual blower, on the old Zoom, and have a conversation with me about their effects. So today I thought I'd show you guys the interview that me and Marc Kerstein had over his app Amalgam Season 2. This is about a 30-minute interview, so strap in kids, get the popcorn handy and enjoy. So, hi Marc, how's it going?
Hello, well thanks, good. How are you?
Good, I'm very well, thank you. And thank you for coming and joining me just on my channel.
Pleasure.
We're going to have a little chat about Amalgam Season 2. So, we were just having a chat before this, but I thought I want to stop it. Let's get into just sort of having a chat on camera because, you know, I'll probably ask you too many questions that we're going to chat about now.
Sure.
How did this come about for the second season? In fact, what made you want to do the first season and then move on to the second? Because it's a unique thing, right?
Sure.
It's a unique sort of
Yeah.
thing.
So the whole concept from my point of view is probably from a slightly stranger place than what you might realise, which is it's just all the kind of tricks that I've kind of had in the kind of app drawer. As it were, where I just kind of things that I just not done anything with, and things that I just think it would kind of be useful to kind of put together. So it's just things that I'm kind of taking out and then going, oh, you know, this was a smart idea, and maybe we can make something out of this, and just packaging them together. So the whole point of Amalgam is to package tricks together into like a season. So season 1 has 4 tricks, and season 2 has another 4 tricks, and I am hinting at there possibly being a season 3 and season 4, which I hope there will be, with another 4 tricks. So you can buy them all together in for one price as part of the season. You can now, as of season 2, buy them all individually as well. So if you wanted to just buy one trick, that's also fine. Yeah. It's more economical if you did buy all 4 together, if you were planning on getting 2 or 3 or so or more.
Yeah. That's great, man. I love this idea that it's sort of ideas that you've sort of been just sort of you've had or you've got in the pipeline, and then because there's a lot of people that are sort of I remember with the first Amalgam, obviously you had John Archer's Streets. I think so you had other people and Harry De Cruz as well, or everyone putting in their own little 2 cents and making it what it is. Yeah,
and I think the name kind of encapsulates that. It's just this kind of amalgam of ideas and tricks that, you know, aren't necessarily related to each other, but I think you know.
Amalgamation. Sorry, that's just clicked.
Amalgamation. Yeah. No, it's fine. So Streets is a thing. Like, for example, I've been working on a version of John Archer's Streets for such a long time, and it's one of those things that I just kind of kept revisiting and just never really did anything with, and just eventually I just figured I probably should do something with that. And then I've got these bunch of other things that I just kind of like I've got so many of these projects, and I just thought there needs to be an outlet for me to kind of put those out there somehow, and doing them together seemed to be a smart idea at the time. I since kind of half regret it. It's so much work. I mean, making one app is so much work. And my goal with these things are that any one of the tricks could be an independent release if I wanted it to be. So if I wanted to release Inertia, which is one of the tricks in season 2, I think it would make a great trick by itself. I could easily shout about that as an app and put that out on sale as the Inertia app, and I think it would do pretty well. So putting it with another 3 tricks is possibly. I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but at least it lets me finally finish it and get it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Obviously, when people on this channel know that I'm a big fan of your work, I've reviewed the Wiki Test. Still my go-to, still my favourite effect to perform, especially via virtual now. A lot of stuff. I think, like, obviously now, I mean, your mobile phone is a weapon. Right, it is this thing that you carry around. I sometimes, like, I know I don't have to carry a deck of cards with me. I don't even need a Peak wallet with me. I can just have my phone to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Do you ever, like, was there a point when you're thinking of these effects where you thought maybe this one it didn't really fit in with the 4, or you just sort of, I mean, you must be sitting on a ton of other things in your head, right? Or things that are just in the backlog. But
yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I don't really know. Really, I think I want at least one in there that I'm really proud of. That I think could be a trick by itself. And I, to be honest, I think all 4 probably can, but there's got to be one for me that's like a real standout. Like I think this is makes the season worth the money at least. If you got this one. But the interesting thing about them is that I always get told different things. Like people seem to love different ones. So I know season 1, I get a lot of people going, Streets is worth the price of the season alone. But then a lot of people tell me, like the word search trick, which is not necessarily everyone's cup of tea because people aren't necessarily doing like a kind of memory thing. So I'm getting climbed on by my dog. There we go. Because people's thing might not be a memory thing. They might be a kind of different thing. They might just want to do mentalism, or they might just want to do kind of magic in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I get a ton of people telling me that the word search trick is their favourite trick, and that makes season 1 makes the price of season 1 completely worth it to them. Which again is perfectly reasonable. But I just can't anticipate. I like the kind of the differences between the products, so that there's something there for everyone. And for me, I like them all. I think they're all my babies and things that I've spent so much time on. That I think they're all worth the price alone. But to some people, it's like, oh, I really like this one and this one. Maybe I'll use this. And then the benefit of getting the season anyway is that one point in the future you might think, oh, I really want a good way of predicting. I've got a solution that I need. I need to find a solution for this problem, and. Maybe maybe let's look in maybe in Amalgam. Maybe that timed out would be the good solution for this kind of I need to predict a drawing or something. And of course we'll use that. I think there's something where later on you can kind of go, that would be a really useful thing. It's like this magic set that you're getting with a bunch of different stuff, and maybe later you'll use a trick. Yeah,
I just want to say how things sort of work. I know you mentioned earlier about how people sort of maybe pick 1 or 2 things, maybe one affects their favourite out of the 4. And, in season 1, like I gravitated towards Streets because that's what I sort of bought it initially thinking of.
Sure.
But then, and my least favourite at the time was the Watch, but I didn't know why. And then I saw the Jerks put something up, like a routine, which actually I didn't say it. A friend of mine said, check out the Jerks using the Watch. I was like, that's just changed how I now feel about that one. Which is very cool how just little small idea change can just make something else.
For sure. And I think one of the things that I'm trying to do to push that is in the app I've added the whole which I now call the community section.
Yes.
So the Jerks thing I've put in there, so that the new 5 Lies presentation, which let me turn my brightness up perhaps, there we go. This new 5 Lies presentation is now in there as well. So, checking that periodically, you might see a really good tip for a trick which already exists and then go, oh God, of course, So I'm kind of putting those all in the same place. You don't have to, I know you said you heard about it from a friend, but if at any point you open up the app, it's worth having a look and you go, oh, there's some really good new ideas that people have shared in the app itself.
Cool. Right, so let's get straight into season 2. Let's break this down a little bit. Now, full disclosure, you sent this to me last night. Yesterday afternoon. I've had a brief look, but I literally wanted this to be the first time we chatted about it, or I even really went into it. Trick number 1, Inertia.
Inertia.
This for me is a very cool, fair, open force, which would you even call it? I mean, it is a force, but you can prep it in front of people, right? It's very clean. I know there are other sort of effects on the market that do maybe something similar, but not as clean or as open as Inertia does it. So, what do you just give it a bit of a breakdown of what this is?
Yeah. So a tiny bit of history, if it's at all useful, is that this was something that I developed for a TV thing, or at least part of this is what I developed for a TV thing back in the day, and it was born out of me not enjoying. There's a lot of products out there where the force is there's a force which kind of occurs, but it kind of occurs like this. Yeah. So you tell someone, look, here I have a list of things or whatever it might be, and you say, so turn it like this, do a bit of this, and touch on something, and then they turn it up, and the thing they've touched on is the force. And I think that's fine, but I think we can do better. And I think a lot of my stuff has been about my Xeno app is very much about not having someone touch on something, but just having them scroll. It's kind of from the Xeno idea of it just kind of being one big web page, and so they're scrolling through a web page, they stop on something, read it, and you know exactly what it is they've selected, and they can scroll somewhere else or whatever and close it, whatever, but you know what it was they were reading, what they were lingering on. It's a bit of method. But kind of, as much as I like that, this was more kind of just to try and avoid this kind of gesture, and so I think so Inertia kind of lets you do that. It has there are some positives to this and some negatives, but I think what you can do with this makes it all kind of worthwhile. So should I just show you? I can kind of just show you, and then
let's go for it.
So as with all the tricks in Amalgam, you can launch from this kind of home screen thing. So I launch my Safari like this. I'm on the BBC website. So there's a bunch of different things on the BBC website. So I will scroll through like this. You're not with me at the moment, so I'm going to do it for you. Okay. And I'm going to get you to simply think of maybe if you can see an animal. If not, we'll try again.
Okay.
And because I didn't come prepared, I would normally have a prediction on the wall. I'm just going to tell you what that is because I did not come prepared. It will be a bird. Okay. So this will be more of an open demonstration as to what it is rather than an actual effect. Okay. So it's going to be a bird.
Cool.
And so I would get you to say, give it a little scroll. So you give it a scroll, and I would say, can you see? I don't know if you can see an animal on the page. If not, we can scroll again, scroll somewhere else or something.
That's
we're going to
great.
try and get to an animal. But have you got something? Yeah, you've got something, and it's a bird.
That's so clean. That's
thanks. So it's super simple.
I think what I like about this in particular is you have the customization to show that they can freely scroll through after you've set the form,
for sure,
right?
For sure. I delayed those two things, but absolutely. I can. If I was with you, I'd give you the phone. If not, I'm more than happy to kind of just show you like this. The thing which might not be apparent as well is the kind of natural feeling of it. It doesn't just kind of jolt away or do anything kind of strange. But it's called Inertia because it matches the inertia, and it's very careful as to how it kind of gracefully forces. That sounds a bit weird, but it does it carefully.
Yeah, and I mean you're not limited to this either. So they can tell you a website, right? They can give you a website.
So I've so you can set your own favorites. So you can have all these things kind of preset. Yeah. That you can type in live. So if you said to me, I don't know, I don't have. I don't know what's the website. I don't have. Let's go to Fox News. That seems to be a popular website at the moment. So I'm on foxnews.com. I literally just type it in and I'm there. It's a web browser. So Inertia is a fully functioning web browser that you can use. I've modeled it off of another popular web browser, but you can also change the style. And it works well with social media. So things like Instagram. So here I am on Instagram. And again, if I wanted to force, I don't know, this post here, I've set that now as the force, so I would give you the phone, you would scroll down, and sure enough, that's what the force would look like. I am still, however, in a web browser, but I've also added a setting where I can hide the browser UI, and now when I launch the web browser, in fact, I'll launch it from here. Hang on, let me just set my thing to Instagram. There we go. Okay, so now my default page is going to be Instagram. So now when I launch the web browser, if I just launch it from here, you'll see why it now... looks completely like Instagram, and that's because that's not me doing anything particularly special, but that's because I've set the this using the Instagram mobile website, and so it's hiding the browser UI, and the Instagram mobile website completely looks like their mobile app. So I'm not doing anything fancy except for just hiding the top and bottom bar of the browser. So it's still a browser, but my homepage is set to Instagram, and sure enough, so if I wanted to force this image again, I've set it to the second swipe, and I can swipe up as many times as I like. So I'd give you the phone, and you would do this, and now we force this thing here.
That's brilliant.
So used in this mode, it's very similar to my friend of mine, Calix's Social Assistant, which is an incredible app. The difference with his is that you can you put in your post. So you say, it's more of a false thing, and you say, this is the post I want to force ahead of time, and you say that, and it'll be a fake image that you can upload. This is genuinely using the real Instagram. So there's some pros and negatives to that, but then you can use other websites and do whatever you want with this as well.
That's great. Really cool, man. One-stop shop. Let's get into this. One-stop shop. Explain to the folks what this is.
Okay. So it's a kind of online shop that you would show your friends, that you have on your phone, that sells a product. So by default, it comes with loads of different presets for clothes and some other stuff. And you can force a product, and it's similar in some ways to Inertia, what you just saw. It's a more natural way, I think, to force a product than some other ways, especially if you're forcing something that you would naturally buy in a shop, so something like clothes or playing cards or whatever it might be. And you can it's just a really nice, easy way to force a product. And there's some pretty cool pairings you can do with it that I can also talk about, but I can show you what it looks like. And before then, again, I would launch my shop like this. Actually, let me turn it on light mode so it's a little bit easier to see. So I have a shop of different products, and this is just a clothing store. So, for example, there's this white hat, grey cap, as it's called. Excuse me. There we go, and a navy hoodie.
Cool.
And a bunch of different products that we're selling here. And so you can see at any given point, there's about 6 on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I'm going to tell you what the force is because I'm not wearing the socks in question, which would be a reveal. But I'm going to force some peach socks on you. So peach socks, which is a default force. But again, you can force whatever you like.
Cool.
So peach socks. So maybe if you tell me, this is maybe say position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Tell me what position you're going to think of the product in. So tell me a position.
4.
No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be this one here. Okay, so whatever lands in this one here, that would be this one here. So in this case, when I scroll, it's the black and white cap. So I would give you the phone, or perhaps I'll do this for you. So I'm just going to give it a flick, and whatever lands in that position, that's the one you're going to remember. So I'll give it a flick like this. So if you remember that product, and sure enough, I've forced on you the peach socks. And so I can reveal that in any way I please. But what it does, similar to Inertia, although this isn't changing, this isn't forcing me to a particular scroll point, what this is doing is inserting the product into the right location. So it's going to appear in this position here. So as we scroll, you can see it just kind of lands really nicely in that position. No matter how, say if I scroll fast or if I scroll slow, it's going to put that product there. Yeah. So again, not just clothes. I have a cards preset. So this is what the cards preset looks like. Daniel Madison provided some images for me, as did Patrick Kuhn. These are Patrick Kuhn's cards, and as did very kindly Theory 11 gave me their images to use as well. So I've got, and you can drill it down to just use Theory 11s or whatever. I mean, you can also put your own in, but by default, if you just want to get up and running, you can use it with their products as well. So that's what they look like. And I've got it to force red bikes. So this is an idea by my friend Harry de Cruz. Maybe you'd have the red bicycle deck of cards behind the screen. And I would say to you, maybe let's say we're going to use whatever products down here. So I would give you the phone, let you scroll, and then sure enough, we've got red bikes. So you tap on it, whatever, and then I would maybe pull them out and produce the card. So it's not about the effect being forced over here. The effect is now you're going to choose the cards we're going to use for this trick. Right. Maybe I hand them an unbranded box or just something in their hands they don't see. Yeah. And whatever we're going to use, I'm going to change it into those cards. So the trick is that whatever ones you choose, we're going to change this deck of cards into that deck of cards that you select from the shop. Right. Yeah. And that's it. So you can take it and run with it. I know people have done some amazing stuff. A friend of mine, Charlie, made it work with a shoe shop, and it's modelled off of other apps. So if you've got the ASOS app or the shoe app, or there's an app I think called Size. Yeah, a store called Size. Their shop looks pretty much identical to this. So you can go into the Size app and start there and show them you're launching for new arrivals, and then as you do, you just quickly multitask across. Yeah. Across the bottom, and then it looks identical to their app. It looks almost identical to the ASOS app, for example, as well. So you can start navigating through, and it looks like the real store as well.
It does look very good. Seeing it in person, it does look like it's been
thank you
very well. And I think it's important to say that there are on all of these apps there are a sort of additional routines that you've placed underneath. Each of these things, so if you want to start off with a routine, you can get straight into it. I think just before we go on, I think we were chatting yesterday about you were doing videos, like instructional videos as well, weren't you? So that'll be coming up soon. I know you've done them on season 1. And instructional videos are obviously...
Yeah, my whole thought was that I'd rather just release it now and get it out there. I haven't the instructions, there's very much instructions, but not instructional videos just as we're speaking. But by the time some people are watching this, there probably will be, because hopefully by the end of next week or so, I'll have those added.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. Just a quick thing on the one-stop shop as well. Just a quick thought, by the way, is combining it with real-world tricks is really useful as well. So I know some people have got a really cool idea of using Kayla Morelli's dress code. Yep. And kind of forcing a shirt and then saying, but you don't act like it's a force by this point. You just say, here, you're going to choose a t-shirt, and they scroll through, and you can custom it. You can put your own ones in there, so you know what you're wearing underneath.
Yeah,
so and you say, okay, so that's one you've chosen. Okay, let's try. You turn around, you come back, and you're wearing the shirt that they chose. Nice. And then another really good idea is also using a electronic die. So having a dice where someone can roll. So rather than them telling you the number of what they're thinking, you hide that bit of method as well if you really wanted to. So someone could roll a die, and you say, okay, so whatever the number is, that's that's the position you're going to think of. Now you already know it, so when you scroll, you input that as you do it, which is what I was doing, and then when the product lands, that's when you force that product.
Yeah, that's cool. Really like that sort of layering the ideas.
Yeah, just an extra method. If I don't think it needs it, but if you want to use it, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Number 3 was choice mail. Would you like to go into this?
Yeah, for sure. So it's a voicemail effect. I'll show you what it looks like. Again, I won't be able to give it full justice because a smarter person would have been prepared with reveals and stuff behind them. So it comes with 2 presets. Again, you can make your own, and by making your own, it's again super simple. So I've just added a reveal to a new preset. I can record a thing. I can import some recordings if I really wanted to.
Cool.
Right now, I've got it set to the spades, so I can set it to mnemonic. My mnemonic is very rusty, so I won't. But I'll set it to the spades.
Cool.
Which is a great thing to demo, I think. So it looks like this. So I'm going to call my voicemail. I've been left a voicemail from a friend of mine who is going to reveal a playing card of choice. So tell me any playing card that you like.
2 of diamonds.
Sorry, I should say a spade.
A spade.
I'm set to the spades just for demo. 2 of spades. Okay. And I don't know if you can hear my voicemail. I'll turn up the volume so you can. Can you hear that? I'll turn it all up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First message received yesterday at 9:32 p.m.
Hey, Shadow here. Just returning your call. I've had a think, and the card most likely to be named will be the 2 of spades. Thanks.
Which is the card you said.
Very cool.
Yeah. So again, it doesn't have to be a playing card. It's fully customizable. You can have loads and loads of reveals. This is just 13 spades, so it's super simple to do. And you don't touch the screen. You don't touch the screen at all. Once you hold the phone completely at arm's length by the sides. Yeah. You ask them to name a card of whatever, a place, a city, a number.
That's really cool. So what are you sort of limited to in terms of the amount you can force?
I think certainly above 52. I think I've set it to 60. I have to double check, but either way, it's like more than enough if you're going to do a colour or a place. But mnemonica's in there as well. So if I know mnemonica and you said 9 of clubs, I know that I just have to code in 44. And to code in 44, again, you don't touch the screen, you don't do anything. It's super simple, and within a second, completely justified. I'm like, the volume's low. Let's make sure we turn that up, and the volume turns up as I'm doing what I need to do, and then. It plays. Then you can change that voicemail greeting at the beginning. That you have one new message. You can change that for if you're in the States. You can have an American version of that. You can do whatever you want.
Right. Awesome, man. Love it. Really enjoy that.
Cool.
I think the last one is probably the not the most out of place one, but the one that maybe almost doesn't sort of seem like. Do you know what I mean? By this, but
it's not meant to trick the last one. Yeah.
I know why it's here because I remember what this was before. Right, when it first came out, and there's been definite improvements on it since then for this. So, Amped, what do you feel? Chat to the guys, what's it about?
So, Amped is a remake of my Charge Me app, which I've had released some years ago, and it hasn't been around for a little while. And it's a full rewrite. It's completely remade for a modern version of the app. And it's changed in some ways, has a few new features, but very much sticks to the core of what Charge Me was. So what Charge Me was and what Amped now is a fake charging of your phone. So you can seemingly charge your phone at will and over the battery. And so it works. If you have Timeline, you'll know this kind of principle, which is it takes the real battery level that you currently have. So if I had 80% battery, it would take that and it would subtract from that a certain number. So if I wanted to charge up my battery by 20%, then it would start on 60% and it would slowly charge up to 80 in performance and then leave me on 80, which is genuinely my real battery percentage. Yeah. So that later on I can say, look, I'm on 80 and it all ends clean and as it should. And there's some cool things you can do with it. You can make just a fun video of you kind of apparently charging your phone with the power of your mind. And I did something with a friend of mine where I... plugged a cable into the phone and plugged the other end of the cable into the earth, and said, this will help you charge your phone. And you can do, plug it into a piece of fruit. So it's like a kind of prank type thing, but there are a few things which I think take it a little bit further than just that. And so I can show you what it looks like. So on a phone like this with a notch, with a Face ID, the only way to see the battery percentage is in Control Center, which I can bring down like this. So you can see that I have 65% battery, and at a moment's notice I do this, and hopefully there we go, it should start charging. So 68, 69, and it goes up to
That's great.
whatever my real battery percentage is, so it's charging up.
That's cool.
And hopefully it should stop at one point. I can't remember how long I've set it to, but there we go. So 78.
10 minutes.
89, 90, there we go. I thought it was about 90 maybe. There we go. So it stops around there, and then sure enough I have actually got 90%, and it ends completely on my real home screen, and sure enough I have actually got it's gone down now, it's gone down by 1, but 89% now. But yeah, so it charges up to your real battery level.
So I think
like that.
I think obviously you're a worker, I'm a worker, so we sort of go out and see how these fare, and with sort of like the initial idea, a lot of people are probably going to think, well, people are going to just think that it's an app, right? They're going to know it's an app and understand it. And it was the same with Timeline. I didn't initially get it for that reason, because I was thinking, well, people could just call it an app. And, like sometimes people might just call it out, and if they do, whatever. But
for sure.
I think what's great about both of these is that you take the focus away straight at the end. So same with Timeline, you take the focus away from the clock to the watches that they're wearing, the phones that they've got. It's the same with this. It doesn't become, that they can check your phone after. It becomes the genuine battery life on your phone. So I think it's a very nice sort of push at the end, which sort of just doesn't leave all the heat on, there's something funny going on.
Oh, for sure.
But you can play
exactly right. I think.
Well,
completely, yeah, and I think if you like Timeline, like this kind of thing is very similar. Like it's something where overtly you'd be like, well, of course this is like a video almost kind of playing on the phone, but then you kind of realise that there's you're left on your real thing. You can kind of do a different. Like I think Timeline is really good when you pair it with something else, like doing a card trick and going back in time and starting again or something like that. And I think this is also like a really fun bit of special effects that you can use to accentuate something else. So like using Yigal Masika's electric touch. Or doing a different kind of trick where you then kind of use that them and then you show that you can charge your phone or whatever like that. It's an extra special effect that you can use in a grander routine. And one of those is this. So this is something I carry around with me all the time, which is a charge card. So it looks like this, which you can get at the moment. So this is an older one that I've been carrying around for a little while, and you can do this with it. So I'll show you. So I've turned on the charge card at the bottom. And what this lets you do is, so again, I'll bring up my control center and I'm going to pivot you down a little bit as I show you that I'm just going to drop the charge card on my phone like this. And then sure enough, my battery starts charging and the charge card is lit up green and starts depleting its battery power like this as the battery goes up on my phone. So now it's not an app as much as it's kind of a cool demonstration of this bit of technology which I seem to have acquired, which is charging my phone. The battery level will start going red as it depletes to the end. And then my battery goes all the way up to what is my real battery, which is 89%. And then I can take this off, show I really am on 89%, and sure enough, I am actually on 89%. So a really cool thing about this was created by Tim Trono and Michael Weber, and they make these and sell these, and I might be also having a few soon that I could sell. So one really cool thing, which Michael Weber came up with for this, which I think is great, is a kind of 2-player mode, right? Okay. So let's say you and I are in a bar, and I've got 20% battery and you've got 80%. Okay. And I say, Booster, do me a favour. Do you mind giving me 20% of your battery just because I'm running really low? I've only got 20%. Yeah. And you go, sure. So I take this out and I throw it over to you and you put it on your phone and your phone goes from 80 down to 60 and this charges up. Okay. Right? So now you've taken away 60%, taken the 20%, you've put it onto this and then you toss it back over to me and I put it on my phone and then my phone goes from 20% to 40% as this then charges down. So we've used this as a vessel to transmit 20% battery. Now, in actuality, I already had 40 and you already had 60. Yeah. But the app pushes yours 20% higher and pushes mine 20% lower to then kind of come back to the middle. But it's this really cool little demo that we've done with each other where I've kind of said, give me 20%, thrown you this, you loaded this up and given it to me, which I think makes it really fun. So it's a fun little trick that I think, people, it's the way I described it, it's kind of like a Michael Carbonaro type trick where it's like people go, like, what is that really exist? Go, so I think it's fun.
And you said they're Michael Weber, but you might be getting some of those cards.
I might be, at one point I might be selling them at one point soon. But if people want to get hold of them and you've got the app and stuff, maybe get in touch with me and I can forward you over the details. Or if it comes to a point where I start selling them as well, then either way I'll hopefully let you know what the current place is to get them.
Awesome. Nice one, man. So, I mean, I'm just going to say it. Any hints on season 3?
I wish I knew as well. Like I say, the way these things are born are just from like me going through and thinking, God, what, I just got so many half-started things that are just unfinished.
Yeah. I mean, I say any hints because I know what's going to happen on forums and on pages after.
Yeah.
It's the same after the first one came out. I went straight on, and everyone was like, "When's season 2 coming out?" It's like, you just released season 1.
Yeah, right. yeah.
It's
no, not yet. I mean, I've got a few things, but I just don't know what's going to make the cut just yet.
Cool.
But we'll see.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I love them. Really enjoying it. I think currently my favourite is Inertia or Choice Mail, but all those other ideas will be in the community panel, which will be within the app. So yeah, I mean, we'll stay on and chat after this, but just for everyone at home, thanks for coming on and demonstrating. And actually, you demonstrated all of them, didn't you? Nice one. Good job.
Yeah,
all of them.
Cool.
I thought you'd sort of do something specific for Zoom, but no, genuinely demonstrated all of them. Really good work. So yeah, season 2 of Amalgam by Marc Kerstein. Links are below. Go and get that there. Mark, thank you very much indeed for coming on. Let us know when season 3 comes out. And I'll see you all very soon.